So I've taken a horizontal section on Melissa. I have used the haircut as a guide. As you look at the haircut, I took the one length section and I've dropped it down, and I'm gonna start on the left side and track to the right, and I'm gonna take wide V sections, and I'm gonna apply to the mid-length and ends. And the reason why is when you take the opportunity to really see what you can see on this hair, Melissa has an extreme amount of density, and putting my hand down and I drop the rest of her hair, you can't see my hand. So why would I apply highlight there? As you track down, you can see, you can barely see my hand through the hair here. So that's a great starting point to be able to put a few highlights. So by starting on the mid-length and ends in this section, this will allow me to see the highlight, create the movement without working too hard and not being smart about my section and my placement. So we'll clip that back up. Get that out of my way. I always start the section on the left side. I've got my product applied onto the paddle, and like I stated before, I'm staying low. The objective with the product is to make it look white on the hair. That's gonna lift an appropriate stage for Melissa. We are looking to remove the red and red-orange out of her hair. So I wanna lift it above a gold stage so that I take that warmth out, which is a great visual for how much space do I want in between each piece. Another guide for you could be looking at the haircut and paying attention to the layering or the shape of how the hair drops, falls, and moves. So looking at this, I'm gonna want one piece here, one piece in the center, and one piece on the right side. So I'm gonna finish with about 3 pieces in this section. Taking a V, parting. Holding the hair with really good taut tension. I'm holding the hair at a 45-degree angle so that I'm applying the product where the hair naturally drops and falls. And what I mean by that is I'm not pulling it out at a 90-degree angle. That changes the way the hair drops and falls, and my highlight will look blotchy, spotty, or inconsistent as it lifts. So by holding good taut tension and holding it down as it naturally drops and lays, it's going to allow me to create a natural highlight effect on the hair shaft. The goal here is to apply the product white onto the hair. If it's not white, I'm not going to get the desired lift. I have mixed up a 30 volume developer to create lift of about a gold stage, a little bit lighter than a gold stage for Melissa. I'm using the paddle as an appendage of my arm to smooth it down. And I can check underneath to make sure I'm not getting any marks, spots, or dots. Now I will move the hair off each side and let it drop naturally. Okay, my last section, 2-finger separation between, and I'll pull this up. My last V parting for the nape. The goal here, hair product white onto the hair shaft, coming from something softer on top and bolder on the ends, okay? Now I'm going to take saran wrap and I'm gonna wrap 4 layers of saran over the top of this to lock in the heat and create a a heat conductor basically. It's going to promote lift in this area, and it will also allow me to separate this section from the next section that I'm going to drop down to highlight. As I'm going through this section, what I'm paying attention to is how the hair drops, falls, and moves, and what I'm looking to create. Melissa is open for a lot of color on her ends, and so that is design decision based on what I see, how the hair is texturized, layered, or razored, what pieces I want to grab and paint, and my focus is not to go any higher than her eyebrow. So I'm not looking to go really high on the parting or the section. So I'm starting really soft in through here. And when you look at the application looks dusty or light, really see-through. I can see hair through it. And what that means is it's not gonna lift as light. It's gonna be a softer transition, and that will allow it to grow out a little softer. Whereas on the mid-length and ends, it's white, and that's gonna lift bolder and brighter. And that's what we wanna see. We want the focus of the highlight more on the ends, similar to ombre effects, and a soft transition coming out. Tracking around the bone structure. On longer lengths like this, I will do 3 sections of saran. I applied a section here, I applied a section here, and I applied a section here, and I'll try and tuck it around. I will do that 4 times. So on longer length, you're using quite a bit more saran wrap. You want at least 4 layers of saran to get consistent lift in a timely manner. So those of you who are not having success lifting brunettes light and blonde, use more saran. 2 key elements to success getting brunettes lighter and brighter is whiter product and more layers of saran. Those 2 elements will create successful blondes without warmth on your brunettes. Here we are on the top section. And again, we're not looking to get any lighter than the eyebrow. So I'm looking to manipulate a nice soft transition from the eyebrow down, and we're gonna create a bolder highlight through the mid-length and ends. Taking this section, I'm really trying to follow how the hair separates and pieces out, how it drops, falls, and moves together. So you can see these 2 pieces separate, so I'm gonna paint them that way. I'm gonna come in and bring this to about the eyebrow, and then I'm gonna track across the top of this strand. Using the paddle to promote tension. Now the goal here is to make sure I am creating the piece consistently with the highlight, with the product, white. So that's what I'm looking to do. Come right around the front. Majority of my clients like seeing the highlight around their face, and the majority of my clients also curl their hair away. So I want to think of it as if Melissa was laying at the beach, what area of the hair would I see? I would see the area closest to her hairline. I'm on the left side of her hairline, so I'm going to paint the left side of this section. And again, goal here, getting white product onto the hair shaft so that I create consistent lift. We are not looking for warmth. We want to get it light enough. No bubbles, bumps, or stumps areas. Smooth, consistent application, and I'm going to drop it off. When I'm looking at it after it's fallen, I look at that, it's like, I just want to detail that out. You can see in through here where the hair's separated a little bit. Put my tail through it. Make sure I wipe the tail of my bristle every time so that I'm not applying old product into a new section. That looks great. Now we're going to move on to the next area. Center back. So as I transition from the left side to the center, I'm going to move from the left side of the piece, painting over here, and the next piece in the center back, I'll be in the center of that piece. That's where I'll apply the product. So I'm coming from the left side here because I'm still on the left side of the head. And a couple of really important points for long hair. You want to hold your paddle at a 45-degree angle to your section that you're applying. And you want to drop the hair off onto it. If I were to hold the paddle out, I would create this mark, this line, this cringe, and it would look lighter, almost like I did a bleach and tone. It comes off like a stark line. So it's very important that you hold your paddle in the same angle to which you're holding the hair. And you also want to make sure that you're taking the bristle down vertically. If I were to go horizontally and hit this edge, I'm also going to promote that highlighted lift effect, and that's not what I'm looking for. So make sure you're not over elevating, and make sure that you're not using the bristle before you hit the paddle or horizontally. Keep the bristle on a vertical angle as you apply it onto the paddle. Now in through here, I'm going to use the tail to break that up, and I'm going to use the tail to break that up. Okay, and then I'm going to let it drop. Here we are. Lovely Melissa is finished, dry and styled. We went ahead and did no gloss on her today. We lifted this to the stage that you're looking at now, and we did a shampoo and conditioner, moisturizer, and then we went ahead and put a real soft amount of styling cream in there for a soft hold with the curl. I blow dried it with a paddle brush, smooth, and then I went through and I took 4 horizontal sections and used the curling iron and just did the basic wrap around the iron and did a little spray for hold. What we're looking for was majority of the mid-length and ends lighter, and I think we've achieved that. It turned out beautiful, and as we roll around, you can see we have a little higher up on the bone structure. It went up. Focus was really not to pass any of the highlight above the eyebrow, and just that front piece I took up just a little bit higher, and it's really, really soft. If you can see, it came from a really tiny pin, almost like an angel hair pasta, and then we incorporated the majority of that framing in the highlight, and it turned out beautiful. Move it from the side. We did not do a focus on the hairline because we really did want to maintain that dimension and a lower maintenance for her. She's got 4 kids and a busy life, so as this grows out naturally, that's going to allow her to do what she needs to do. We'll roll the other way.